Tonight we begin with a courtroom confrontation that legal experts had feared, dismissed and ultimately failed to prevent. A moment that unfolded not over weeks of testimony but in mere minutes. Minutes that shattered family loyalty. Minutes that exposed deep fractures within the Trump dynasty. Minutes that left even the presiding judge reaching for security. What Ivanka Trump did today crossed a line that the court had hoped would hold. And when that line broke, Judge Patricia Brennan did not hesitate. She responded with authority, with urgency, and with a decision that will echo through legal history. For months now, there had been signals, not official court documents, not formal legal filings, just signals that Ivanka was preparing something unprecedented. Ivanka has been strategic, yes. But she has been calculated in her strategy. Her moves have followed a certain pattern, a rhythm, almost a choreography designed to distance herself from her father's legal troubles. But what set off alarm bells in Washington this morning was that the pattern went silent. Legal analysts who monitor Trump family court appearances know the indicators, the coordinated statements, the unified legal defence, the family photo opportunities, the sudden silence before major testimony. All of that went quiet. And whenever Ivanka goes quiet, it means something is about to get loud. Early this morning, court officials detected what they described as unprecedented tension in the federal courtroom, including security protocols that had not been activated in over 3 years. And these are the kinds of measures that judges only deploy when they are signalling something very specific: witness hostility, family conflict, or potential courtroom disruption. Observers didn't know which category this fell into, or whether it fell into all three at once. But what they did know was that Ivanka was changing her posture. And when a key family member shifts posture without explanation, even by refusing to make eye contact with Melania, the court pays attention. The order issued by Judge Brennan today was not normal. It was not routine. It was not symbolic. It was urgent. Source after source described Ivanka's refusal as calculated, devastating, and perhaps most importantly, irreversible in its implications for Melania's deportation case. But legal strategy only works if the target hesitates. Though Melania's legal team did not. In fact, their response today was among the most aggressive we've seen in any Trump-related proceeding. Here's what we know. Within minutes of Ivanka's refusal to provide testimony, Melania's attorneys filed emergency motions. These weren't the standard procedural documents. These were scorched earth legal manoeuvres, filings that Melania's team only deploys when they are preparing to expose family secrets. Tonight, court sources confirmed that Melania's legal team launched formal accusations against Ivanka, including claims that she had privately been working to undermine Melania's immigration status for what analysts believed was inheritance positioning. Melania's lawyers struck before Ivanka could mount a counter-narrative. They hit Ivanka's credibility, they hit her business dealings, and they hit financial records that were likely preparing to surface anyway. In other words, Melania's team targeted the strategic foundation of Ivanka's testimony refusal, the component that would have made her silence defensible. This is what made Judge Brennan's security call so urgent. Ivanka's refusal wasn't just symbolic, it was actionable. It represented the kind of family betrayal that could destroy Melania's case if left unchallenged. And Melania, understanding that fully, responded with force, not recklessly, not impulsively, but strategically. They didn't attack Donald directly. They didn't bring up past family disputes. They hit Ivanka's financial motivations. They hit her documented conversations with immigration officials. And here's where the story becomes even more explosive. A legal analysts now believe that Ivanka's refusal was designed to test the strength of Melania's legal defense after months of financial pressure. Ivanka wanted to see whether Melania would crumble under courtroom pressure, but instead the opposite happened. Melania's team didn't retreat. They launched a counter-offensive that was so precise, so devastating, that even Ivanka visibly flinched. You don't get Ivanka's attention easily, but today Melania did. Immigration attorneys speaking with media under anonymity described Ivanka's strategy as controlled abandonment, a way to distance herself legally while appearing neutral. But Melania proved today that she remains both prepared and ruthless. Her legal filings were not only comprehensive, they were timed so precisely that Ivanka had no opportunity to prepare a response. That timing matters because it shows coordination at the highest levels. It shows that Melania is not a passive defendant. She is an active combatant in this family war. As reports continued coming in throughout the afternoon, we learned more about the scale of Melania's response. Her immigration attorneys carried out emergency filings in 3 jurisdictions, forcing Ivanka's team into defensive positions. Her personal lawyers targeted financial documents that had been sealed in the last 2 weeks. Private investigators operating in New York reportedly uncovered communications used by Ivanka to coordinate with immigration enforcement contacts. This wasn't just a legal defence. This wasn't just a counterfiling. This was a declaration of war. This was family destruction in real time. And family unity is the one thing the Trump legal strategy has struggled to maintain since the indictments began. For every advance Ivanka has made in distancing herself, Melania has countered with something that pulls her back into the spotlight. Remember, Ivanka thought Melania would accept her fate quietly. She thought the former First Lady would prioritise family image over personal survival. She thought years of perceived slights would keep Melania passive. But tonight, the exact opposite is happening. Melania is fighting with everything she has. Her legal team is expanding by the hour, and Ivanka's calculated neutrality has backfired spectacularly. What makes this moment so dangerous and so unpredictable is that Ivanka's refusal happened at a time when Donald Trump is under unprecedented legal pressure. Republican allies want family unity displayed publicly. Legal advisors want coordinated defense strategies. Business partners want stability and predictability. And Melania wants survival at any cost. Ivanka is balancing these demands while protecting her own future political ambitions. And when family members in that position make sudden moves, they're not doing it from strength. They're doing it from pressure. They're doing it from vulnerability. Judge Brennan's security order, now circulating through legal networks, was designed to signal that the court is not willing to allow family warfare to derail proceedings. Court officials said plainly that Ivanka's refusal was inconsistent with witness cooperation standards. That is legal language for she's actively sabotaging this case. You don't usually hear that tone from federal judges unless something serious is at stake. Meanwhile, Melania's spokesperson addressed media in a brief, pointed statement tonight. They said, Mrs. Trump expected loyalty. She received betrayal. They said, the truth about family dynamics will emerge in court. And they said, Ivanka's choices today will have consequences she cannot imagine. These are not rhetorical flourishes. These are statements from a team that understands just how high the stakes have become. Here's what makes the situation even more concerning. Ivanka's refusal wasn't isolated. Along with her testimony, rejection, Jared Kushner also declined to provide supporting documents. Don Jr. released a statement distancing himself from Melania's case. Eric Trump increased public appearances, notably avoiding any mention of his stepmother. All of this happened within the same 48 hours. When the Trump children move multiple pieces at once, it means something larger is underway. Legal analysts are now considering several possibilities. One is that Ivanka is preparing to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for immunity. Another is that Ivanka is attempting to position herself as the clean Trump for future political runs. A third possibility, the one worrying the family most, is that Ivanka is attempting to accelerate Melania's removal to secure inheritance positioning. But today, Melania took that card off the table. She didn't stay silent. She didn't accept her fate. She didn't protect family image. She went to war. What we're watching now is a test of family loyalty versus self-preservation. Ivanka wants to emerge from Trump legal troubles unscathed. Melania wants to show she will not be sacrificed quietly. Republican strategists want to prevent public family implosion, and Donald Trump wants to prevent any family member from becoming a cooperating witness. Tonight, we've heard from courthouse sources who are now monitoring emergency filings. They say additional documents are expected within hours. They say both legal teams are preparing for extended proceedings. And they say Ivanka's decision to refuse testimony is likely part of a broader repositioning intended to separate her brand permanently from Trump legal liability. But Melania is not accepting this quietly. In fact, Melania is escalating dramatically. Her response today, swift, brutal and comprehensive, sent a message to Ivanka that betrayal has consequences, and it sent a message to the court that she will fight for her future. As the evening goes on, we expect more details to emerge about what exactly Ivanka hoped to achieve. But what we do know is that Judge Brennan's security intervention was timely. It prevented physical confrontation, it restored courtroom order, and it put all parties on notice that decorum will be enforced. What happens next will depend on what Ivanka does in the next 72 hours. Now, if she reverses course, this moment will be remembered as a temporary fracture. If she maintains her refusal, Melania's team has already shown they are prepared for total warfare. They have shown they are ready to respond. And tonight, for the first time in years, Ivanka appears to be rattled. Mar-a-Lago is quiet. Too quiet. And when the Trump family is quiet, it means they are strategizing. It means they are choosing their next moves carefully. Because tonight, Ivanka learned something she may have forgotten. Melania remembers every slight. Melania has kept every receipt. And Melania will not go down alone. This story is far from over. But tonight, one thing is clear. The Trump family is at war with itself. The courts are watching every move. And Melania has chosen to fight. And we will be here watching every detail as the next phase unfolds.